And joining us now with more insight on these numbers is Dr. Gerson Moreno-Riano, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences at Regent University. Dr. Moreno-Riano, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thank you, Heather.
So in the newsroom, we've been talking a lot about these numbers because they're interesting. They jump out at you, and yet I think because for years we've seen the numbers, the support for gay marriage go up.
Yep.
So to see a slight drop at this point in time, what's your take on it?
Well, public opinion is a very fickle thing, Heather. It can change very quickly, it can be manipulated very quickly, it can be formed very quickly. So it's difficult to make an assessment or a projection just based on these numbers. It could signal a shift, but the gay marriage numbers have been increasing for 20 years now. So I think the key is to continue to look. If there are continuing shifts and a decline here, then there could be a significant cultural shift occurring. It's just too early to tell. Mm-hmm. The other piece we have to think about is that how the question is being asked and the context in which it is asked is very important. This survey was part of a larger survey on the question of religion and politics and public society and public life. So that could also shape the opinion as individuals are going through the survey and thinking about religion and morality, and then they come to this question. Mm-hmm. It could certainly inform that. So there's a lot of things going on, how the question is being asked, possible cultural issues, a backlash against state Supreme Court decisions. It's just too early to tell, but I think it's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I was interested because there were two questions relating to homosexuality. One was, the support for gay marriage has gone down by 5%, and then also people's view of homosexuality as a sin. 5% more, people are saying, yes, we see it as a sin. So I thought, there were two questions there, though, that look like a shift.
It does, but again, it's too early. I think we have to continue to look at it. There's no doubt that it's been in the news much more often. All the Supreme Courts of various states are legalizing and opening, and I think people are beginning to ask a question to themselves. Is this the right thing to do? What are the implications for our family, for our future? I think that question is out there. I think the issue has not been decided. So whether Democrat, Republican, liberal, or conservative is a very volatile issue. It has not been decided for anyone. And the question is out there. What does it mean to be a family? What is marriage? And therefore, I think that the Supreme Court decisions in states are causing people to think and rethink this issue. I think you have younger voters as well, much more involved and not fully vetted on one side, but still very much of a volatile issue for them. So the question's out there. I think there's one clear shot that says maybe there's a shift. Even on those two questions that you mentioned, maybe there's a shift here. But I think we have to continue to look. If you continue to see this, that's very important then. But if it's just a blip on the radar screen and it goes back to normal, then we know that something else is going on. Mm-hmm. So again, I think it's worth considering. It's certainly a possibility, but I think it's still a little bit too early to tell. If
you were advising either of the political parties right now on the subject of gay marriage, what would you say with all this ambiguity out there among the public?
Well, there are two issues. I mean, politicians oftentimes and political parties care about winning elections. And this question is not about winning an election. This question is about the moral framework of our country. So the real question is, what does it mean to be a family? What is marriage? And what are the implications if we shift a traditional understanding of that, a Judeo-Christian understanding of that? What are the implications for society, for children, for homes? That's the real question. No one really talks about it. The questions people discuss are much more individual rights. I want to do it, so therefore the state should allow me to do it. But what about 10, 15, 20 years? What will the social fabric look like? What will children be like? That's the key question that I don't think anyone's really tackling. That's what I think we should be addressing and putting out there a broader framework for a discussion rather than just one based on immediate desires and rights.
I'm just wondering if political advisors for both parties, though, are thinking, given that the public really doesn't seem settled on the issue, if they're going to even shy away from discussing this openly more because of polls like this.
Well, they may, but I don't think the public's going to let them do that. They may want to shy away from it, and certainly this data gives both sides. I've seen critics on both sides saying it's the way it was worded. Others are saying no, it's a religious backlash. No one really knows, so this could be used in lots of different ways. But I think we need to reframe the discussion. It's more about the future in the social fabric of our culture than it is about immediate needs and wants. And we need to have a longer viewpoint here than just an immediate one.
All right, Dr. Moreno-Riano, thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome, Heather. Thank you.